All right, I'm probably a little bit out of it because I recorded this, the footage corrupted, and now I had to restart. Also, I'm sick, so I apologize, but I'm going to do my best here. I just watched Real Madrid versus Deportivo Alaves. Absolutely atrocious watch. It caused me physical pain, and no, I don't mean to start off as a negative Nancy, but this club has given me no reason to be a positive Penelope. I don't know if that's a thing. I just came up with it. Let's talk. Vini Jr., I hate you. Leave my club. Never play for this club ever again. Goodbye, Saudi Arabia. Adios. Do not let the assist fool you. He was atrocious. He had a 5.6 match rating for almost the entire game, just up until he got the assist. He was horrendous. He had the most duels lost, and he was dispossessed the most out of any player on the field. Not my numbers. I'm not AI. I checked FOTMob. Anyways, let's move on from Vini, because there's so much more I've got to say about Vini in a little bit. Let's see what else we want to talk about. I'm going to go with the negatives first, and then we'll move our way into the positives. Why did we not make subs earlier? That is a big one. That was one I thought a lot about. I feel like the second Vini got that assist, we should have subbed on a bunch of people. It took way too long for us to get subs on. The game was begging for a change. It was begging for fresh legs or something. I would have loved to see Mastantuono and Brahim Diaz come on a little bit earlier, change the game. It's like genuinely painful to watch us do the same old habits that we did all of last year, which is all the play goes down the left-hand side. There was a 10-minute stretch where the ball didn't go to the right. Valverde just stood there like a traffic cone the whole time for 10 minutes, didn't touch the ball. And I'm just like, it's just insanity. How do we not learn from our lessons? Like, I've not done anything near in this sport what these guys have. I played this sport in America. I've not done it on the world stage and World Cup finals and Champions League knockout matches and stuff like that. But I'm not the only person that complains about these things on the internet. The things that, such as, we only play down the left. We don't make runs in behind. We don't press. We don't blah, blah, blah. It's so obvious. And I sit there and I wonder, I'm like, is it that they just don't want to listen or they are incapable? And I just refuse to believe that the best, so-called best of the best are incapable of doing some of these things that I'm thinking about. If you look at the goal Deportivo Alaves scored, guy made a run from deep, made a run in behind. We were playing a high line. They clipped the ball over the top. He settled the ball and he shot, and he scored a goal. You mean to tell me that us, Real Madrid, the biggest club in the history of history, not only just of soccer, but of sports, with two of the fastest attackers on planet Earth, can't make a run in behind for a clip ball over the top to settle and score? We do it maybe 1 or 2 times a game. And I sit there and I wonder why. What is making it so that they can, but we cannot? It makes zero sense. It's like, why is our only offensive game plan to just go down the left side? There's nobody to cross to in the box because we don't have an aerial presence. And then lose it. Get hit on the counter. Either Courtois makes an enormous save, and then we go and we do the same thing, or we concede. And then do the same thing anyway. Sorry, give me a sec to catch my breath. I am way out of breath. I'm so sick. Just something to think about. We don't have an aerial presence like I've talked about in most videos. We don't have overlapping fullbacks, and even if we did, there's nobody to cross to. We don't have any great link-up or hold-up play down the middle because Mbappe's not a hold-up forward. He's not a forward anyways. There's just so much that goes into it. And this brings me to my next talking point. Watching this Real Madrid team play. If they had TVs in the medieval times, back when there was like knights and dragons, they wouldn't use like the medieval torture devices. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, those weird contraptions that they would torture like peasants with, right? They wouldn't use that in the medieval times if they had TV. They would just put on this Real Madrid, and they would make people watch this Real Madrid. That is how they would torture you in the medieval times if they had TVs. It's so predictable. It causes me physical freaking pain to watch this team play. Seeing Mastantuono and Brahim Diaz come on was like a breath of fresh air. I'm like, oh my God, we got some left footers. The ball's going down the right side of the field. It's not all down the left where Vinny's going to lose it over and over and over and then just cry about it and do nothing else and blah, blah, blah. I just... whatever. Let me move on to my next talking point. So, we talked about how poor Vini was. We talked about how Deportivo scored and that we don't do it. 10-minute stretches where the right side didn't see the ball. Don't know how that wasn't a pen, by the way. Let's talk about that real quick. That was absolutely a penalty, but nothing new. Barca fans will say it's a dive. Other people will say it's a dive. People will say we pay the refs. Meanwhile, a man by the name of Negreira says otherwise, but hey, it is what it is. Let's talk about some of the positives. I forgot his name. Please forgive me. I'm not a fake Real Madrid fan. I love this club with everything in me. I just forgot his name because I'm literally recording this like right after the game is done. For the second attempt. I was excited to see an academy graduate play. I really was. I believe this was his debut. He did okay. He didn't seem like he's ever going to be a starter for us. Then again, he is 19. I have no idea. Maybe we'll make some nice pocket change for him, sell him for like 2-3 mil. But I don't know. It was nice to finally see one of our academy graduates play, just like last year when Raul Asensio came in. Now, say what you want about him. He's had good games. He's had bad games. He's still young. He'll learn, blah, blah, blah. But it's nice to see a left back from the youth team step up and play. And he didn't do too bad. Courtois is the greatest goalkeeper of all time. I know he only had like one really big save to make, but he did it. And this is what I keep telling y'all. Like, if Courtois did not play for this club, we'd be in the relegation zone. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he is the gift that keeps on giving. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a relatively young person, so I've not seen all the greats. I've not watched all the players that some of you older heads might have seen, but Courtois is the greatest goalkeeper in the history of the sport. Argue with a wall. You could tell me you hate me in the comments. I don't care. He's the greatest ever. Only thing holding him back is that he hasn't won a World Cup, which I think is stupid when it comes to GOAT debates, but it is what it is. Here's a big talking point. Bench Vini, play Rodrigo on the left. Rodrigo's been absolutely cooking. I made videos ages ago saying I want Vini gone and I want Rodrigo to stay. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Rodrigo just sat on the bench for a majority of the season. I also made a video once saying that Rodrigo is better. And I'm going to go a little bit more in depth as to why I think that is. I made a video a year ago saying Rodrigo is a better winger than Vini. And I'll tell you guys right now why. A lot of you clown me in the comments, but I'm going to explain. More and more, teams understand we have a lot of pace. And they're like, okay, if we leave any space in behind, they're going to exploit it. Well, they should. And they could. Do we know? But we can. We have the personnel to do so. Which is why, and we don't have the personnel to deliver crosses and score out of the air. So teams are like, okay, we don't want to leave space in behind, and they don't have anyone to score off of crosses, so let's just park the bus. Vini cannot do anything in tight spaces. Vini needs 20 yards of space to knock it down the line, to get past his fullback, and create a chance. The only reason why he was able to get that assist today was because he picked it up about 15, 20 yards outside of the 18, and he had space to drive at speed, and he didn't need anything fancy. It was just knock it down one way and then deliver with the outside of the foot to the back post. It was lovely to see somebody actually get to the back post on our squad. Doesn't happen very rarely. Or it doesn't happen very often. Sorry, I'm sick. Cut me some slack. Rodrigo can have 3 guys on him, and he'll weasel his way through like a freaking snake. Weasel his way through like a snake. Why would he not weasel his way through like a weasel? I don't know. There's something wrong with me. But he's slippery. He's agile. He can change direction quick. He's not just pure speed like Vini. Vini isn't as tricky as Rodrigo is. Rodrigo can unlock a low block on his own. Vini cannot do that. Even more reason for me to just be like, get rid of Vini. Because we're just going to continue to face these low blocks over and over and over and over. And also, Rodrigo's decision-making, I feel like, at most of the time is better than Vini's. I don't like Vini's decision-making whatsoever. He also doesn't work as hard as Rodrigo does on defense. Let me know what you guys think about that below in the comments. Is Rodrigo the long-term solution to breaking down low blocks over Vini? And is he the better choice based off of his attitude, his work rate, and what he brings to the team, and how he links up with Mbappe for the team? Now, what else? My last talking point for the video. I'm really struggling to talk, and I didn't have much to say anyways. Jude Bellingham in a deeper role today was our man of the match by far. People have been saying for ages he cannot be that orchestrator in midfield. He cannot be that distributor in midfield. People have been sleeping on his midfield and link-up game since he joined, because when he first joined, he was scoring all those goals. He was getting in the box. He was like a striker, even though he wasn't a striker. He was everywhere. And he absolutely bossed the midfield today. And I think what Bellingham suffers from is he's just too good at everything he does. So managers have been looking at it, like Ancelotti and Xabi Alonso, and they're like, okay, well, we've got two of the laziest pieces of poopy up there on planet Earth. And Bellingham's good at everything. Bellingham's good at linking up. He's good at dribbling. He's good at defending. He's good at winning the ball back. He's good at intercepting passes. He's good at playing through balls. He's good at getting in the box. He's good at scoring out of the air. He's good at shooting, blah, blah, blah. He can play in deeper areas. Let's just have him do everything. Let's just have him do the workload of Vini and Mbappe, but also do everything else that we require from a 9, an 8, a 6, and a 10. And he just suffers from versatility. Today, I think we saw him in a role that I think should be his role moving forward. Keep him in that deeper role because he absolutely changed the game. He was the best player on the field by far. If we're not going to fully commit to him getting in the box, like I've suggested in previous videos, then get him the hell away from the box. Let him be the link-up player and the distributor to just move the ball. Because he did it flawlessly. And I've been saying he could do it flawlessly for ages, but people are like, nah, he's a false 9. He's a box crasher. He's a striker. He's not a midfielder. He's not a pure, elegant midfielder. He doesn't do 25 fidget spin turns in midfield like Pedri. Like, who would have thought that in order to be a world-class midfielder, you just got to spin in place? If that's what it took to be a world-class midfielder, I could have 17 Ballon d'Ors right now. I could put a baseball bat on the ground right here and just spin in circles like this for 90 minutes. I could do that. Why don't I get? Why is there no Ballon d'Or shouts for me? So yeah, don't let a deluded fan base tell you that Bellingham isn't a pure midfielder. Bellingham is as pure of a midfielder as you get. He's elegant on the ball, but people don't see it that way because he's athletic and he's tall and because he's not Spanish. I'll tell it to you how it is. And shout out Kian Sabani, because he said this too. Shout out Managing Madrid. People don't give Bellingham the credit because he's not a 5'4" Spanish guy named Javier and isn't from La Masia. It's the truth. And if you guys don't believe me, go look up that clip on Managing Madrid. Love Managing Madrid, by the way. Shout out to them. It's the truth, right? Bellingham is, in my opinion, one of the best midfielders on the planet. It's a shame that we don't get to see him in this role that he played today often, but today we did, and he was man of the match. In my eyes, I think he actually also got it on FOTMOB as well. I don't know. But let me make myself clear. Bellingham should absolutely stay in this role because we're not using him like we did in the first season where he was a box-crashing 10. We're simply not. We're not getting any crosses into the box. So instead of just keeping him high up the field and wasting him back there, let him use his work rate back there. Have maybe Tchouaméni behind him, doing his thing. And then I have no idea who the other guys next to him should be. Güler maybe to help create, but maybe Camavinga, maybe Valverde. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, okay? So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will maybe upload some of these clips onto the TikTok, but hope to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, Hala Madrid.